Hi Blaze, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing okay. Not great, honestly.
It's okay, it's great. I'm sorry to hear that. I know we kind of talked about some things last session. Do you want to start off with that first, or would you like to kind of talk about what's on your mind right now?
I guess, yeah, since we last met, something sort of happened.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, my friend, one of my best friends from college, his dad passed away a few days ago. And yeah, it's just been hard. It, he died in like a freak accident.
Mm-hmm.
He was like a pilot for fun. He just flew planes for fun and was one of his hobbies. And yeah, the plane he was flying just like broke, and yeah, it was just a complete freak accident. And I was like, had just spent the summer living with my friend Jonas and his dad, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it just feels like I can't really process it or
Mm-hmm.
something. Like it doesn't feel real.
Yeah, that sounds really overwhelming, especially because I know you mentioned that you just moved. So, are you planning to see this friend soon, or?
Yeah, I actually went back um, to see him right when it happened, like the day after, just because, yeah, I don't know, I just wanted to be there for him,
Yeah.
so I drove there and was with him, and yeah, I don't know, it just feels like I just feel in shock, and then because of like the other things that have been going on
Mm-hmm.
in my life, it feels sort of, I feel like guilty for feeling sad about
Mm-hmm.
these other things because now Jonas has gone through this like real tragedy and like has real pain, and I don't know, it makes me feel like guilty or something.
Mm-hmm. Um, I know you kind of mentioned, or from what I heard, that you didn't know like how to process the situation, and then also you said that you're still in this state of like shock, correct?
Yeah.
Um, do you think that maybe these two things kind of go hand in hand as to why you haven't been able to process in the way that you'd like to?
Yeah, I mean, I think it happened recently, so maybe that's part of why, but I also think I just, like, with the breakup that happened a few weeks ago and then moving to a new place, like, I have these other things, like, I was already going through such a hard time, and,
Mm.
like, right before this happened, I was looking to my friend Jonas to, like, help me through
Mm, okay.
my hard time, and I thought, like, I felt, like, so much pain and sadness and heartbreak and stuff, and then I don't know, now I feel like sort of numb, I guess, because it feels like it's unfair, or like my feelings aren't valid because I didn't have like a real tragedy. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds to me like from, the breakup and this passing, it just sounds like a lot of grief. And um and then with you moving, it's like there's a lot of change happening. Would you say that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, everything just feels like foreign and new, and yeah, I just kind of wish I could like go back to when things were simpler, like when I still had was with my girlfriend and Jonas's dad was still alive and I still like lived in my old town. I don't know. Now I just feel so like lonely and I don't know. Every day like I just feel sad and like I'm totally alone with it or something.
Hmm. Has there been a time since your move that you've found ways to kind of cope with the grief that you're kind of experiencing? Or at least, when you first broke up with your girlfriend, was there like something in place that was kind of keeping you afloat?
Yeah, I mean my friends were around and they were helpful, but then when I moved, I kind of left a lot of those people behind,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. I still have a few friends in this new city, but it definitely doesn't feel like I have the same sort of support
Mm-hmm.
system as before. But I've been trying to like I don't know, go walking outside and stuff and just doing like simple things, and I have one friend that really helps me with that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, even just like little things like going outside or going for a walk just feel really hard right now, which, yeah.
How, if you were to picture a way to process everything that's happening right now, ideally for you, how would that look like in your eyes?
I mean, I think I would just want to get to a place where I don't like think about my ex so often, or like it feels like I can't escape the feelings that I have about her. And like
Mm-hmm.
even when I'm sleeping, sometimes I have these dreams and just nothing crazy or anything, just she's
Mm-hmm.
like in them, and then it feels like there's nowhere for me to go where I can't like.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then I don't know. I just also want to be feeling better so I can like be there for Jonas, because
Mm-hmm.
this is obviously like the one of the hardest times in his life, if not the hardest. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of yeah, I feel like I wish I could like be feeling better so I could be there for him, because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm a bad friend or something.
Mm. I know you mentioned something. Well, you when you were describing the breakup, you were saying um, that you couldn't escape that feeling. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? How does that look like?
Yeah, it just feels like the feeling of sadness is so tied to like the breakup, and just I feel like so unmotivated, and I also feel like I have intrusive thoughts almost, like I
Mm.
can't stop, like I'm always thinking about it and always feeling sad, and then like crying, and it just feels like I don't know, I just guess I feel like not I'm not like doing it shouldn't be this hard, like I should just be able to like find a job and go through my life. Like I feel like the people I know that go through breakups aren't as devastated, or like they can still function, and I just feel super I just can't, like it's too much.
Well, I do want to say with all this change that's happening in your life, I think that sometimes it's okay to not feel like you can move from a certain place, but it doesn't mean that it's not possible. And I think the fact that I know you mentioned you had a friend in the city that you kind of talked to here and there. I think that shows a lot of progress in that. With your friend's dad's passing and this grief that you have with both the breakup and the situation, how, as far as your day to day goes, how have you been managing it? Do you talk to this friend outside of therapy? Um, do you have like family that you speak to over the phone? Have you been talking to Jonas?
Yeah, I try to talk to Jonas every day to just make sure he's doing okay. And
Mm-hmm.
then, yeah, with my family, I think that's another thing that makes me feel sort of alone sometimes
Mm-hmm.
is like my family's really supportive of me, and I don't know, my parents are like still together, but they've never really like expressed emotions so
Mm-hmm.
much or like encouraged me to express my emotions. And I feel like I've always been like really emotionally closed off
Mm-hmm.
with my family and my parents specifically. And yeah, I don't know, like they know what happened. They know that we broke up, and they know that I moved, and they know about Jonas's dad. But like I when I talk to them, I kind of pretend that I'm like doing better than I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, I have a couple thoughts, but I know. So I kind of want to go back to you moving. How do you feel about that? I know we never really talked about that. How does that?
I feel like I kind of regret it, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, I just did it so quickly after the breakup, and I think it was just kind of a reckless decision. But I had to leave. I like couldn't live in that city anymore because it was just too much. Like everything reminded me of her, and yeah, it was just too. I didn't want to run into her. I didn't want to run into her friends. Like I don't know. But then now it just seems like such a stupid thing to do because
Hmm.
now I'm like in this new place and I don't know as many people, and I have to find a new job, and I don't know. It just I think I regret it.
Um, with you mentioning, that it was like a reckless decision. What do you mean by that?
I mean, I just think I wouldn't have done it if I didn't feel so bad, and now it feels like that was just a dumb thing to do. And like I don't know, when I think about my family and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
if they knew the reason that I actually moved away was just because I was feeling sad about a breakup, I think they would just be almost disappointed in me or something.
Hmm. Mm. It sounds like there's almost like this like hesitancy to want to tell your family how you're feeling. Am I Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you, is is there like any feelings around that, or as to why maybe that's there?
I think I feel afraid of being a disappointment to them.
Mm.
Like I failed in some way, or yeah, because I don't know, when I don't have things in my own life like set up
Mm-hmm.
in a way that aligns with their idea of success or
Mm.
like doing a good job at something, I don't know, I just feel yeah, like I'm letting them down, or I feel kind of ashamed of myself to be now like making these sort of reckless financial decisions and not having a job. And I don't know, I think that's why I just act like things are going okay for me, so they don't ask more
Mm.
questions and I don't have to like show them that I'm failing or something.
Would you say that maybe at some point um, these like reoccurring like patterns tend to get exhausting? I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, it sounds like it could be exhausting, so I don't know.
yeah, it's exhausting, and it makes me feel kind of isolated with the hard feelings or like the sadness,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like I'm acting or pretending like to my parents, or yeah, it feels like I'm faking something. And I wish I could just show them my authentic self and like express my feelings and have them care about me or make me feel better, but for some reason I just can't.
Um, do you would you feel as if it would be helpful if you, for example, like wrote a letter to them without actually giving it to them, um, about how you actually feel? Do you think that would help at all in kind of navigating like some of those feelings in order to put them on a put them on paper basically?
Hmm. Yeah, I think that could be a good idea. I've done some journaling before, but I never thought to actually like write a letter
Mm-hmm.
to them or someone and then not send it. I don't think I could send it, but
I
yeah,
mean,
I would try that.
yeah, I think that's a good way to kind of start with some of these overwhelming feelings that you've been having, and eventually we can get to a point where maybe we can start um, having you journal about the breakup. And I don't know, maybe we'll find something more outside of I know you mentioned feeling confused because when you first broke up, you were fine with it, and then
Mm-hmm.
when you saw her again, it was like you wanted to get back together. So it would be good to kind of explore that. Do you have some kind of like inkling as to maybe why um, when you first broke up you were okay with it, but then afterwards it was kind of like you wanted that relationship back?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just because I wasn't really happy in the relationship, if I'm being honest.
Mm.
Like, it wasn't a good relationship, and I think we both kind of knew that. And even from the beginning, I think I kind of knew that. But then it just kept. I mean, there were good parts about it too, but
Mm-hmm.
I I think that's why, is because I knew. And then once it really set in that I was like gonna be alone and just feeling this rejection and like heartbreak, that's when I kind of like went crazy or something and just
Mm-hmm.
like needed. I was so afraid of like being alone and
Mm-hmm.
not having her as my like safety net and just someone to like always come home to at the end of the day. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was just really afraid of that. And then yeah, when she said she was sure and that she didn't want to be with me, like that was just the final blow, I guess. And
Yeah.
I could like there was nothing I could do and to make her change her mind, and then I was just like totally alone.
Mm. I want to come back to you saying, this feeling of rejection. Um, and with everything that we've kind of been talking about, especially with your family, it sounds like maybe that could be a part of it too, is that rejection. Would you agree?
Yeah, think I think that could be related. I mean, I definitely was losing someone that I could like be myself around and
Mm-hmm.
sort of yeah, like express my emotions to. So I don't have that many people like that in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And then when sometimes I see my friends or other people that have like really open relationships with their parents, and it seems like they're being their true authentic self, like even around their
Mm-hmm.
family. And I just that's so like unrelatable for me.
Mm-hmm.
And always wanted to have that, but I yeah, I guess I wish I had more people in my life that I could talk to and like be be myself around, I
Mm-hmm.
guess.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds lonely, just like how you've been kind of expressing, and I I think with all these changes, it's just really it's exaggerated that feeling, and so um, I can see why it's very overwhelming.